Welcome to Sports Scene. USC football travels all the way up to Eugene, where they have a big test. Their playoff hopes on the line. It's put up or shut up for Lincoln Riley. And speaking of USC football, an infamous student section that will go down in USC history. Women's volleyball's got a big test also in Eugene after losing a 9-game win streak. And finally, men's and women's basketball seasons now fully in swing. So much to talk about this upcoming week on Sports Scene. We're so excited to have you. Make sure you stay tuned in for all of that and more.
Welcome to Sports Scene. I'm Mia Satterfield-Brown.
And I'm Nolan Ezett. The 15th ranked USC football squad sits at 8-2 and has a simple path to the college football playoff. I've got two words for you: win out. And it starts with this Oregon team right here. Quarterback Dante Moore has the Ducks at 9-1 and has been one of the top passers in the Big Ten all year. But this team is at its best when it's playing old-fashioned football. Oregon ranks number 1 in the conference in rushing yards per game and yards per attempt, thanks to its trio of backs. The Ducks are one of the most high-powered offenses in the country, putting up 39 points a game and traveling 475 yards downfield in each contest. Both rank inside the top 3 in conference. Their defensive unit is also among the top, but they've struggled to get to the quarterback this year. There's some history between these former Pac-12 opponents. The Trojans boast a 38-23 record against the Ducks. Even when playing in Eugene, USC maintains a winning record, and it's looking to protect that as it currently sits at 10-9-1 on the road. Now, the formula is pretty simple. You win, you're in, or at least that's what the students are thinking. I've got a simple question, Adam. I'll start with you. Can the Trojans do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a chance, but they're going to have to play so great in Eugene. And you can't overlook a team like UCLA. It's definitely not a gimme win. I mean, it's a rivalry game. It is at home, but there's going to be plenty of blue in that stadium. And the Trojans going to have their A game. They're going to have to show up. And even if they do win out, it's not a guarantee they get in.
Yeah, definitely a question mark if they can win out. Two tough opponents, Oregon obviously being the toughest one, but a rivalry game is never a gimme. Nia, let's say the Trojans do win out. They finish the year with only 2 losses. Do you think it's guaranteed they even make that playoff, or is that kind of up in the air to you?
It has to be guaranteed. I mean, there's no other way to do it possibly. I think that if they do win out, like, they're going to have to be in the playoffs. Like, there's no other chance.
Well, students would certainly hope so. That's what people have been saying, but there's also question marks as to what the other 2 lost teams will be. The biggest roadblock for USC this year has always been Oregon. So it's a must-win in Eugene this Saturday at 12:30 p.m.
Yeah, well, if the Trojans want to take down the Ducks en route to a playoff appearance, they will have to follow the 3 keys that we have for them to do it. Nia says the Trojans have to win on first down. Nolan thinks they have to match Oregon's run game, and I say they need to establish that run game to open the passing game up. I'd love to hear why each of you believe these are crucial for a win. Nolan, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think the run game is going to be huge. Oregon ranks number 1 in the Big Ten in rushing yards per game. They have kind of like a trio of backs and even got a couple more that they've used all season long. They're probably the best running team that I've watched all year. Then you mentioned the weather. There are still question marks, but if it does happen to rain, which is still a possibility, then running is even more important than ever. And if you can't match the running game, I mean, what are you going to do? They still got a good quarterback in Dante Moore. Mayava might be better, but both passing games are strong, but their running game is elite. You got to match them.
And Nia, you mentioned first downs. What's going to be so important about that?
I mean, yeah, this team is a second half team. They always are delayed in the first half. They go off to a slow start, but in the second half, they really ramp up the energy and effort. So if they're able to really execute on third down and continue to capitalize off third downs and continue to get fourth downs, like, they're going to be able to win this game. So they need to be able to just not be second half team. Go hard in the first half, go crazy, and just go from there.
Yeah, well, if the Trojans in the second half were also a thing in the first half, Trojans would be undefeated and the best team in the country. All great points, you guys. The Trojans are going to have to play their A game and then some if they want to go in Eugene and get a win.
The Trojans fly into Eugene on Friday, so before they do, let's meet these Ducks. Sophomore quarterback Dante Moore has been a revelation for the Ducks. He leads the team with 21 touchdowns and just 5 interceptions through 10 games. Last week, he set an Oregon single-game record with 90% completion against Minnesota. He has an elite arm talent and a pinpoint accuracy that are sure to test the Trojan secondary.
Yeah, well, my player to keep an eye on this Saturday is senior running back Noah Whittington. Whittington is the lead back of the two-headed monster in the Ducks backfield with almost 700 total yards and 6 touchdowns. Anytime he touches the ball, he's a danger to score with 2 40-plus yard touchdown scampers in his last 4 games. I mean, just take a look right here. It is almost impossible to bring him down. Oregon relies on him, and they're going to this week.
I'm going to go with someone else that Adam left out from this backfield, and that's Jordan Davison. At 236 pounds, he's an automatic touchdown from the goal line. He leads Oregon in rushing scores with 12 and also has 460 yards on 66 carries, good for a productive 7 yards per attempt. He is a bruiser, but he also can show his shiftiness and pass-catching ability. Some of the best offensive players in the country over there in Eugene, but we've got some of our own right here at the Coliseum. Liam has more.
Rain or shine, the Trojans prevailed on Saturday on a muddy field, taking a huge step in burying the soft narratives around the USC program in Big Ten play. What a better way to dive into those rainy details than X's and O's? I'm Liam Irvin. Let's break things down. What makes this USC team so unique is the ability to shape to the Big Ten style play with physical offensive linemen and running schemes while also winning the playmaking battle on the outside. This play is the first of 2. They're going to motion Maava out to the outside, and this is solid Big Ten football. Direct snap to Brian Jackson. In past, the Trojans have liked to motion some of their offensive linemen. They're only going to motion over 1 on this play right here. It's going to be Miller in the middle. Otherwise, every other lineman getting in their stance, getting up, getting on the shoulder pads, getting right to their defensive tackle right in front. And look at this blocking right here. Everyone with a man, shoulder pads attached to him, even Jaden Robinson, top of the screen, Lemon getting going, and Jackson finds his way into the end zone. That's the gritty Big Ten. You got to pick up 1 yard in the Big Ten a lot of the times. And how about the playmakers on the outside right here? Lemon's going to bluff like he's running a corner route. He's going to cut in. McCree's responsibility, hold that block for a split second and get vertical as quickly as possible. This safety right here is the key. If McCree doesn't release quick enough, Lemon is going to have his head blown off by that safety. He's headhunted. Look at Maava right here. 1, 2, 3. That ball's out. Not being gun shy at all in the rain. And this right here, McCree's pretty open over the middle of the field, but give your Biletnikoff Award finalist a chance at a spectacular play. He goes up and gets some through contact. Take a look at this on the replay right here. The concentration, his eyes are keyed in on the ball. Through some contact, gets the first down, 21-7. That's a huge play in the grand scheme of that game. So it's those 2 things, saying, hey, we can play Big Ten football here and get this 1 yard, and also playmakers on the outside contributing to your vertical downfield shots. A hard-fought win for the Trojans. Nia has more on another win on the hard top.
The women of Troy earned a bounce-back victory over Portland last night, winning 78-51. After a slow start, the Trojans opened up second quarter with a dominant 21-0 run. Freshman guard Jazzy Davidson posted 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in the win. USC scored 26 points in the fourth quarter and closed the game out with a 78-51 victory. The Trojans are shooting 37% from the field and 25% from beyond the arc. This Friday, the Trojans will have another tough non-conference matchup heading into South Bend to face the number 24 ranked Fighting Irish. Notre Dame blew by Akron in an 85-58 win with sophomore guard Hannah Hidalgo posting a career-best 44 points. They then dropped 93-53 to now number 6 Michigan in the worst franchise loss in over 2 decades. Hidalgo is averaging 28.8 points per game, 6.5 boards, and 4.8 assists per game. Her name was also on the 2026 Wooden Award watch list that was released yesterday afternoon.
Work in progress, but we'll take it. We'll learn from every game and keep moving with a big one on Friday in South Bend.
I mean, I think just our defensive intensity. I think we all kind of follow behind Ken when she's hitting up the ball and being super aggressive on defense. We're like, all right, here we go. Like, let's get to it. So I think that just when we're at our best defensively, it kind of leads us into our offense.
It seems as though the Trojans are still trying to figure out how to be a well-oiled machine. Adam, I'll start with you. How can they do this versus Notre Dame?
Yeah, well, the football team wasn't as successful in South Bend. Women's basketball going to look to flip the script. Here's the thing with women's basketball. They have been trial by fire so far. They have been not shy at all to schedule hard non-conference games. They've played NC State, top 10 team in the country. They've played South Carolina, another top 10 team in the country. They take on another ranked team. I think they have the experience in these ranked type of games. Even though Notre Dame did play Michigan, they got blown out. USC, the Trojans, kept almost every game very close. I think they've got a shot in this one.
Nolan, how can this team stay confident and composed going into this matchup at South Bend?
I mean, what Adam talked about is going to play a factor. You got confidence from playing some of the top teams in the country. USC probably has more experience playing top teams than really anyone else has so far this early into the season. Here's the thing, though. If you're doing that and you're still struggling for the most part, Jazzy Davidson has been a little inefficient, although she has been the leading scorer. Other than that, Cara Dunn, kind of been a disappointment. Kennedy Smith, Malia Samuels, these are players that you need to see your best from, and you haven't gotten that. So you're going to need them to have kind of a, I don't want to say a career game, but really a season-defining moment here. And if you're not going to get that, I don't see you beating them.
I completely agree. They need more veteran leadership on this team. No one's really stuck out to me as like that go-to player. So if they can get the offensive firepower going, hopefully we'll see a win in South Bend. It'll be a tough one, but if the Trojans can pull out a win, they'll do a lot to put some more respect back on their name. Sports Team will host a special halftime edition of the game live in studio on Friday. You do not want to miss out. The men's basketball team will also host Troy tomorrow night at the Galen Center at 7 p.m.
I'm out here at Galen Center, the home of USC men's basketball, where they look to take on the Troy Trojans tomorrow night at 7 p.m. But the Must Bus has been on a roll. We'll have that and more for you coming up next on Sports Team.
Welcome back. Several Trojans made the highlight reel last week. JD Black has more on the top plays.
Thank you, Nolan. I sure do. I'm JD Black, and there was a lot going on this week, but let's take a look at USC's most exciting moments. Coming in at number 3 on the list, we have USC men's basketball. Jaden Brownell gets the steal and finds Ezra Asar, who soars over 7'1" Brandon Lieb to throw down a defiant dunk. On the women's side of the court, I'm taking this Jazzy Davidson play. For defenses, Jazzy's style is like jazz music. It's hard to follow, but you can count on some flashy solos. And at number 1, let's go back to Saturday. While it was raining lemon highlights, I'm taking this momentum-shifting interception by Jakeem Stewart, who found the ball unexpectedly in his hands after great defensive coverage from corner Marcellus Williams. So that was the week in 3 plays. Now, let me alley-oop it to Kyle at the Galen Center for a deeper dive on men's basketball.
Thanks, JD. After a dominating performance against Manhattan last week, the Trojans put up 114 points, making it the highest single total game in school history since 1998. The last time that happened, Bill Clinton was the president. Then the Must Bus traveled to the Intuit Dome, where they faced the Illinois State Redbirds, where Rice wasn't the only thing that was cooking. Junior guard Rodney Rice erupted for a triple-double, making it just the second triple-double in school history in an 87-67 win. Rice and Chad Baker-Mazar have each been averaging 18.7 points per game and 6 rebounds, with Rice averaging 7.3 assists and CBM with 2 assists. Jacob Kofi has also been dominating the paint, averaging 13.7 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. Now to the other Trojans. Troy is 4-2 on the season, with junior forward Thomas Dowd leading the team. Dowd is averaging 16 points and 11 rebounds, along with sophomore guard Cooper Campbell, who is leading with the Dimes with an average of 4.3 assists. The Trojans will look to continue their win streak tomorrow night against the Troy Trojans right here at Galen Center at 7 p.m. Oh, and by the way, it's also head coach Eric Musselman's birthday today, so shout out to you, Coach Muss. Hope you're enjoying it. That's all I have for you guys out here. Let's send it back to Nolan in the studio.
This season, cross country had new walk-ons who have made big impacts on their team. Annenberg Media's Campbell Donovan talked to them about their new roles.
They may have joined the team without the spotlight, but now they're setting the pace. Sydney Nodal and Paige Unger walked onto USC's women's cross-country team this fall, and their passion for running has just grown since joining the team.
I'm kind of under the mindset of just say yes to everything this year, and who would have thought that led me to walk onto the team, but one of my friends sent me the Instagram post and was like, you have to just try out. I got into running because my mom was a runner and she forced me to do cross country in 7th grade. And I was never any good at sports until I went to my first cross country practice.
Walking on is something that I've kind of been thinking of the first 2 years of school, but it didn't work out just because of the team being full and that kind of thing. And I knew I just needed to lock in, start training for the tryout. So I only trained for a couple weeks for the tryout, and then it went really well, and I knew that this was all meant to be, and I'm glad that it all worked out this year.
Paige and I have so many similarities, and we never would have really connected if we both didn't walk onto the team. So building those friendships and being with the rest of the team and being under the coaching of an Olympic athlete is something that very few people get to experience, and that's just been incredible so far.
I think it's really nice knowing what good hands we're in. We don't have to worry about if our workout's the best for us because we know from our coach that this is the best training we could have for ourselves, and she makes everything so specific to each girl on the team, makes it work so well.
I would say I'm definitely busy. This is probably the busiest semester I've had, but I would probably run anyway in the morning, so that time I had already set aside, which made it easy.
I'm just really excited that I get to have 2 years of this, and also 2 years of just having a totally different life before this.
I know cross country is not a sport that typically attracts a large audience or following, but I think that if people at USC paid more attention to maybe smaller sports, it could be something cool that we all share.
Amazing interview, Campbell. Now it's time for this week's 5-day forecast. It all starts tonight here at Wednesday. USC women's volleyball looks to bounce back after breaking their 9-game win streak. It was snapped by Nebraska. They now take on Oregon on the road. This Thursday, men's basketball hosts Troy. They're still undefeated on the season, but we have yet to truly see them be tested yet. Next on Friday, women's basketball travels to South Bend to take on Notre Dame. A huge ranked matchups with marked implications already here in November. On Saturday, we've talked about it. It's football. The Trojans look to keep their playoff hopes alive on Sunday. It's really put up or shut up for Lincoln Riley. Finally, this Sunday, men's water polo rounds up their MPSF tournament. That'll do it for this week of Trojan Sports. But now we'll toss it to the best segment on the show, Trojan of the Week.
It's time for a heavyweight showdown, and all the gloves are coming off. Time for Trojan of the Week. Joined by Mr. Kasler, and just like Casey's performance last week, my Trojan of the Week is pretty zesty. Who else but Makai Lemon? In rainy, disgusting weather, Lemon peeled apart the Iowa defense. 10 receptions, 151 yards, and a touchdown. Lemon now leads the Power 4 in receiving yards and helps secure a massive win for the Trojans with lemon zest all over United Airlines Field.
Rodney Rice is nice. Double figures in one stat category wouldn't suffice, so he did it thrice. The man from Maryland notched USC's second ever triple-double in all of its history and at a neutral site in Inglewood. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists for Hot Rod at the home of the Clippers led USC to an 87-67 triumph over the Illinois State Redbirds. Rice didn't slow down. He played 36 of the 40 minutes and was key from mid-range. The only preceding triple-double ever at USC, Daniel Hackett in 2007.
Playing in an NBA arena on Friday, Rice looked like an NBA player.
Yeah, all right, Dr. Seuss. I think I'm going to go first if that's all right. Look, you just got to look at what Makai Lemon was doing in that circumstance. It's rainy. It's something that USC has not been able to play in the past. He makes catch after catch after catch to lead the USC Trojans to a massive win. Yes, I realize Rodney Rice had a good game.
Okay, yeah.
You got to
No.
I wasn't done. Dr. Seuss, I know you're a poet, but I wasn't done yet.
All right, Mr. Zest. Here's how we're going to do this.
I was the one who called you Zesty. You can't do that
Who
again.
led the
You can't do that
USC
to me.
football team in touchdowns this past weekend?
Well, I mean, Rodney Rice had one, so I think that's pretty
Who led the
good.
USC
Rodney
football
Rice,
team in
excuse me.
touchdowns
Makai
this
Lemons-
week?
Excuse me.
A couple of
Makai
screws loose
Lemon.
up there.
Makai Lemon had one. I think he had an
one.
incredibly clutch touchdown. Yeah,
Brian Jackson had two.
Are you seriously going to sit here and argue that Brian Jackson was the best USC football player?
He had more touchdowns. You
No,
know who
is
led
that the-
USC basketball in rebounds, assists, and points?
Look, it was blatant stat padding what Rodney Rice
Oh,
did. Look,
come
I'm all
on.
for some stat padding.
come
it's
on.
fun, but that last 2 minutes, he was just hunting that. Once again, you got to look at the circumstance. It's Iowa coming down. USC goes
Men's
down
basketball's
the
not
game.
in conference play yet. Like it's
but you're not
apples and
playing a
oranges,
good
man.
team.
It's
You're not
apples,
play-
oranges, and lemons.
You're not playing as good a team. That's the problem with it. It's why you can't beat Trojan of the Week. USC, they needed to win that game. You can lose that game if you're men's basketball. That last 2 minutes, he was just hunting that triple-double. Everything he was doing was not meaningful.
Yes,
Even if he hadn't gotten that triple-double, USC probably still would have won.
Okay, that doesn't...
If Makai Lemon doesn't make 10 catches,
that's ridiculous.
151 yards and a touchdown, they don't
But
necessarily win
did
that
he
game.
lead the team in touchdowns, though?
He led the team in receptions and receiving yards. I don't understand why that's your only point.
But Rodney Rice led the team in every important category.
He
Points,
led in
rebounds,
great
assists.
categories, and I do agree with that. He had a good game, but it was not against a good team. Illinois State is
Illinois
fine.
State's a pretty solid team, and it was at a neutral site.
Fine, if we're talking about solid teams, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about good teams.
But
Iowa
USC football was at home.
Iowa is a good it was Crypto.com arena.
No, it was into it. Look, you're getting a lot of these really easy facts wrong today.
It's still in Los Angeles. That's the whole point.
No, it's in Inglewood. It's not the same thing.
Seriously, your argument that
It's
Los
not the same
Angeles and Inglewood are in different places?
They are fundamentally, but Rodney Rice had a better game.
That's like the main part of your argument is because it wasn't at home.
Makai Lemon's good. I'll give you that.
He had a great game. He had the best game of anyone this season.
That's not true.
This season,
Rodney Rice did.
Wrong.
Rodney Rice
about
did.
the week
21
for
points.
Sure.
You know how hard it is to get 10 rebounds as a guard?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier when you're just hunting a triple-double. That last 2 minutes,
You're mad at him for playing the game the right way?
They were just hucking shots every single time he touched the ball.
That's not true.
It's 100%
Did you
true.
watch the game?
Yeah, they were airballing threes at the end of the game because
And
they're
he
just
caught
trying to
the
get
ball.
They were just trying to get him. No. USC was because they were just trying to get him that assist, which I can respect his teammates, but his teammates are the one who gave him.
Jaden Mayava was trying to give Makai Lemon receiving yards.
He was throwing him hospital
It's
balls.
the same.
Makai Lemon was making him look great.
But the
making him
same
look
argument can be made. They were hucking balls to
But
Makai
he was
Lemon.
making him look good. Rodney Rice's teammates weren't necessarily making him look better. Makai Lemon was making Jaden Mayava look so much better.
You just said they were trying to make him look better by taking shots after he passed to them to get him assists.
Yeah, and that's
I
what
feel
I'm
like
saying.
you're contradicting yourself a little bit.
I don't know
here,
what
partner.
you're talking about. What I am trying to say is he just did not have that great a game.
Oh,
Right, that's
oh
not
my
true.
God.
That's not true.
Yeah, it's
he had
not
a
true.
fine
What,
game.
you just
It
lose
was
all credibility by saying that.
It's just nowhere near as good as Makai Lemon's. That's just 100% true.
No, that's not true.
Once again, the circumstance and what he's doing, Makai Lemon was just by far the best.
That's not true at all. But again, you tried to take the easy route with a football player. But like we've said, you have a few screws loose in your
All right,
noggin.
Casey, you don't get to see the wheel because of that.
what?
You don't get to. I'm spinning it, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. All right, you don't get
Fair
to see
enough.
because of that comment.
Fair enough.
All right, you know what, Casey, who is the most underrated sports scene cast member?
You go first.
You know who it is? I think it's a clear and obvious answer. It's our director, Lindsay. Lindsay makes this show go on. She's been solo directing for the last year or so. I don't know how it's not Lindsay.
I gotta go Zane Woods here.
Zane is great. Don't get me wrong. Zane is great.
How many videos is Lindsay cutting?
Lindsay is coding the whole show.
Zane Woods is in the edit bay just like
But
coding
Lindsay's
videos.
coding the show. She's directing everything. She's solo directing it.
Nah, but Zane pulls up. He's got his Dodgers fit on head to
I
toe.
love Zane. He's doing our teleprompter right now. But I mean, Lindsay is the one cutting all the cameras. She's making everything go.
I mean, look.
There's no show without Lindsay.
I mean, you have
Shout
a
out
point.
Lindsay.
You have a point. But I mean, I guess that's another argument for another time.
I guess so.
That'll do it for Yield Wheel, but it'll be back next week. Coming up, the King is back. LeBron made his season debut for the Lakers last night. And USC students gave the shirts off their backs to rally the football team on Saturday. We'll be right back.
The king of the court is back. LeBron James made his season debut last night, finally back from an injury that kept him out until this point of the season. In his 23rd season in the league, his presence can still be felt. Alongside Luka Doncic, he led the Lakers to a 140-126 victory, putting them at 11-4 on the season now and 4th in the Western Conference. James had a double-double with 11 points and 12 assists, keeping his 1,293, yes, you heard that right, 1,293 game streak of having 10-plus points alive. He also made 2 from beyond the arc, putting himself 6th all-time in three-pointers made with 2,561.
I can sit back and think about what you just said as far as 7 guys not being born when I started this journey. And yeah, that just made my back hurt. So I got a few days before we play again, so I'll be okay.
LeBron is the staple of the game of basketball, and everyone is happy he is back. Well, besides the opposing teams.
Rain or shine, the game goes on. Students brought the Trojan spirit during the rain against Iowa last weekend. What started as one shirtless man jumping around the stands quickly turned to 10 to 20, and until a full section of seats was filled with other die-hard fans. During a game in which an alarmingly high number of seats were empty, a subsect of the student section really carried its weight. Adam joining myself and Nia. Adam, I'm going to start with you. Lincoln Riley has really urged students to bring the energy toward the latter half of the season. Is that energy finally here?
Well, 2 things to say on this. First, Lincoln Riley specifically thanked the students in his post-game press conference, saying they wouldn't be able to do any of this without them. They've been so loud, helping distract the opposing team on offense, and it's so hard to hear in a rowdy environment. Second, I want to give my experience with this student section. I'm sitting up there in the press box next to my guy, Kyle, and he's like, why are there 4 shirtless kids? And I think back to about a month ago, where at Oklahoma State, a bunch of kids decided to run, take their shirts off, and start winding them up. And I said, just wait, this is going to grow. And you saw in that video, that student section grew to hundreds of people. What a sight to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's now a national story. Nia, what do you make of that situation? What does that kind of show of what the student section has become?
It shows how committed the Trojan family is to supporting their football team. I mean, it's so fantastic to see how many people are showing out for the Trojans. They're 8-2. They're a great football team. They need to continue to bring out that energy and that success heading into Oregon, especially UCLA, last home game for the Trojans. I mean, I'm hoping to see some more shirtless guys throwing their shirts around. Just really just have the student section all be there for one Trojan family success. It's going to be awesome. So.
I mean, it was a great story, cool student section with a bunch of shirtless guys. Here's the thing, though. I think USC, it's blatantly misled in terms of the total attendance count. They said 68,000. Absolutely no way there were 68,000 people there. The stadium was almost half empty, especially by halftime. Very concerning to me. Yes, the fans that were there were very supportive. It was very loud considering how many empty seats there were. But you got to take into consideration the fact that when it's raining, the only people that you're going to get going there are those diehard fans. On a usual game on a sunny Saturday, maybe you almost pack that stadium out, but half of the people there aren't making any noise. They're not yelling on third down when it's the opposing team, and that's what I'm concerned about. There are diehard fans, but not everyone is diehard. That's what I'm concerned about, and that's got to change. For now, though, the Trojans have to worry about the ruthless student section over in Eugene, which has one of the strongest and most loyal fan bases in the nation. Number 11 USC women's basketball travels to South Bend to face off against number 24 Notre Dame. Tip-off is this Friday at 3 p.m. Sports Scene is going to bring to you a special halftime report live from right here in the studio. Be sure to tune in. But until then, thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Sports Scene. I'm Nolan Ezett.
And I'm Nia Satterfield Brown. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys in December.